So today we're going to talk about updating your Holley Dash to the latest version for whatever reason you may have. Might be because you want a new feature, or there's a bug fix, or you switched products from, say, a Terminator X to a Holley EFI. And we're just going to walk through that process. I'm going to cover the 7-inch dash and the newer Pro Dashes, both 686 and 12.3 in this video. For the most part, they're the same process with only a few minor differences, and when I get to each of those, I'll just cover them separately. The first thing to do is to go to www.holley.com, and then on the top you'll see where it says products, brands, make, model, my garage, news and events, and support. You'll want to click the support tab, and then the second option is EFI software. You'll select that and it will take you to the page that will have all of the firmware on it. I'm not going to get too deep into which options to select. Important things to note: this is the first difference between the 7-inch and the Pro Dashes. The Pro Dashes have a single firmware that works with everything, meaning the Pro Dash firmware is just compatible with a Sniper, Terminator X, and Holley EFIs. And on the Holley EFIs, it's compatible with versions 4, 5, and 6, as long as you are using the newest version as of when I did this video. The 7-inch is not. The 7-inch, you have different firmwares for Sniper, a different firmware for Terminator X, and a different firmware for Holley EFI version 4, different one for version 5, and a different one for version 6. So the 7-inch, you have to make sure you get the proper firmware for your application. Make sure whatever ECU you are using, you get that firmware for it. Could be Sniper, Terminator X, or whichever version of Holley EFI you're using. Just make sure you get that version. Alright, so now that you got the firmware downloaded, we need to put it on a USB stick. The important thing here is making sure that you have it in the root directory. What that means is if you have a blank USB stick, you just put it on there. Make sure it is not still zipped. Sometimes the files come from the website in a zipped file. It needs to be unzipped, so you'll take it out of that folder basically and put it directly onto the USB stick. One thing I forgot to mention when putting the files on the USB stick is that a 7-inch dash will have two files. An OS underscore file and a FW underscore file. You need to make sure that both of them are on the root directory of the USB drive. The Pro Dash only has one file. Once it's on the USB stick, you plug that into the dash. Once it's plugged into the dash, you power up the dash. It is supposed to automatically update for you. Sometimes that doesn't work. If that doesn't, the very first thing you do is you touch the dash and look in the lower right corner. Make sure you have a little eject button. It's a triangle with a little minus sign under it. The reason we look for the eject button is that tells us that the dash recognizes that there is a USB stick plugged in. And that's step one. If the dash doesn't even realize there's a USB stick plugged into it, it's never going to update. And that's our clue. That's the easiest way, fastest way to check to see if the dash knows that there's a USB stick plugged in. So since we're assuming the USB stick's working, we'll leave the gauges screen. We'll click Menu. Then we'll go to the Configuration button. And under Configuration, you'll see the second button says Update Firmware. Once you press the Update Firmware button, this is again where a 7-inch and a Pro Dash is a little different. After an update, you always want to go navigate back to your menu, hit Configuration again, and then you want to click the About button. So once you hit the About button, you'll see a screen pop up and it'll have your latest software version along with some other information depending on what's hooked up and how you're using the dash. The important thing is to search through all of that. It should be right at the top, I believe, and it will say, something along the lines of Pro Dash version ... depending on what you installed. As long as that matches what the file you downloaded was and what you expect it to be, you're done. So that's how to update your digital dash. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I decided to go a little different route. My previous videos have all been tuning related, and I saw a little bit of a need for more content on the digital dashes. So I wanted to do how to update. In the future, if you guys want, I'd like to do a video on how to set up inputs in the dash, and then how to set your inputs up to be read in the software through the dash. If you guys want to see that, please let me know. Just comment on the video, like the video, whatever YouTube stuff you want to do. Subscribe to the channel, all that junk, whatever. Anyway, let me know if you want to see more like this, or if you'd like me to go back to doing more of my tuning related videos. Thanks.